HOD creatives, welcome to another class where we are going to be making this beautiful turban cap you're seeing right here on your screen. If this cap is something you know you will really love to learn, then you need to watch this video to the end. Let's go. Welcome back. So today we are going to be doing that turban you just saw on your screen. Is a full body pleated turban with a bow. The bow is flat, there's nothing inside the bow. So I'm going to be using this crepe material. It's called shining crepe. London crepe is also shining. You can call it shining crepe or London crepe. So this is what I'll be using, and you can use poly, you can use raw silk. There are some other fabric you can use. You can use a stretchy fabric, you can use fabric that is not stretchy, but this is a little stretchy. So now let's get right into the measurements. So this is going to be for the body, and the measurements I have here on fold for the body. The measurements I have here is 14 inches on fold. 14 inches on fold, that is 28 inches. When I open it up, I'll have 28 inches on this stretchy part. I'll have 28 inches, and the length I have here is 25 inches for the length, because it's going to be a pleated turban. So that's why I have 25 inches here. So this is for the body of the cap, and this is for the band, and the band I have here is 24 inches. This is 24 inches, and the width, the wideness of it is 5 inches. So 24 inches by 5 inches for the band. Now this is for the bow, that's flat bow. So the measurement I have here for this flat bow is 18 inches by 6.5 inches. 18 inches by 6.5 inches. That is what I have for the flat bow, and this is going to be for the loop. That's what we are going to use to bind the upper part together. And what I have here is 6 inches by 11 inches. 6 inches by 11 inches. So this is all the measurements you need for the cap. So the next thing we are going to do now is, and I'm going to embellish it with this. The embellishment is optional. It's not compulsory, it's optional. So what we are going to do is, first this is the bow we are going to be using. So we'll just fold it into two like so. After folding it into two, this way, you also fold it like this again. So you see the way I fold it. Then you are going to slant the edge here. You just slant it just like this. So you have something like this. So we are going to take this to the sewing machine. You will sew like this and stop somewhere here. You will sew also like this and stop somewhere here. You understand? So we have an opening at the middle. So it's this, through this opening we'll bring it out. That's for this. And for the band, you just fold it to the right side. This is the right side, the part that is shining, and this is the wrong side. So you just fold the right side like this up, then you just stitch it down a little. That's for this. And for this loop, you just fold it into two, and you sew all the way down and bring it out. That's for this. Now for the body, you take it to a sewing machine and you will pleat it. So our pleating is going to be, you should know how to pleat by now. I've done a lot of videos on how to make your body pleats. So I used to mark 1.5, or you can mark 2 inches, you can mark 1 inch. So you just mark your 1.5 like so all the way down. You mark it. So you just mark it all the way down. So when you're done marking, you will notch, you will do it like this. So when you want to sew, you just open it up, you fold it this way, pin it, fold this other side, pin it, then come to the middle, measure your 1.5 and fold, then you stitch all the way down. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this. So this is all the measurements, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. I will stitch and I'll be back. Okay, we are done sewing. So this is the pleats. So this is the wrong side and this is the right side, and this is the band. I told you just stitch it small, so I just stitch it a little, and this is for the loop. Just turn it out for this. Then this is the bow, the flat bow. So before you turn it out, you trim out any excess. Then for this end, you trim, you notch it, so then you turn out. Use your scissors and bring out all the edge, the pointed edge. Then this slanting at the edge, it's optional. If you don't want to slant it, you can just leave it straight. It's not compulsory you slant it. So you just stitch it. So I'll just close the opening. I'll just take it to my sewing machine, I'll close it. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to get the midpoint of the cap. I'm just going to fold it into two, like so, and I will get the midpoints. So this is the midpoint of the body, and also the band, I will get the midpoint also. Then this is the right side, and this is also the right side of this. So you meet the right side, meeting right side, then you pin. So I'll take it to the sewing machine. I'll sew on a 1/2 inches allowance. Now if you're putting lining, this is where you get to cut your lining out, and you place your lining also on top like so, and stitch all the way down. So when you're done stitching like so, you fold your fabric into two like this, then you stitch all the way down, and you stitch up to this part. Then you stop one, you stop 1.5 inches before the end. You stop 1.5 inches here. So you stitch like so, and you stop here before the end. So there's going to be an opening here. There's going to be an opening. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now, and I'm going to sew, and I'll be right back. So I'm done sewing. So as you can see, I joined this, then sew from here, so like so, and all the way here, and I have an opening here. So the next thing we are going to do now is to turn it to the right side. Turn it to the right side, to the right side. So now you arrange these midpoints. That's a small backdrop effect. So you make sure you arrange it at the middle. This is the middle, this center front. So you use your chalk and mark it. You mark the center all the way down. So this is the center, and I'm just going to use my needle and thread and gather the center. So this is what we have. So I'll just put my hand and I'll put my needle in, and from here again I'll go in. I'll come out from the next split. You go in again from where you come out from, and you come out from the next split. You go in again and come out from the next split. So you repeat this process till you get to the end. I hope you can see what I'm doing. If you have watched this video to those points and you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that when I post videos every weekend, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you all for always coming back here to watch my video. And to our new subscribers, thanks for subscribing and you're welcome to the family. So, okay. So just keep going in and out from one pleat to the next pleat, and this is what you have. And you just pull. You don't need to make it too tight. You can see what I'm doing. It's not too tight. So you go in back to secure your pleats. So you secure it tightly so that it does not loose. So when you're done, you cut out your thread, your excess thread, and that's that for the front. That's that for the front. And for the back, you know I will run our gather stitch now for the back. So that's just basically what you're going to do for the back. You just run your gather stitch just like so. When you get to the end, you pull tightly and secure your. You can go over it again. You cut out your excess thread. So this is what we have. You see, this is the cap. So the next thing we are going to do now is to take your. This is the bow. So you just fold it into two like so, and for this end you can just measure 2 inches or 2.5 inches. So I just have something like this. This is what we have, and just mark that point. So I've marked it, and you just place it. Sorry, let me mark it on the other side. So this part that is folded will be here. So this is what we have. It's going to be something like this, and you tack it right from the band all the way to the pleats. So but before then, you have to get the midpoint of this cap. You make sure you are at the midpoint, because you need to tack the flat bow to the middle. So you make sure you are right at the middle. Okay, so you tack it down like so. You can use your sewing machine to stitch it down. If you don't want to use your needle to tack it, you just use your sewing machine to stitch it down. I'm going to use my sewing machine to stitch it down. So all I need to do now is just pin it to the part I want to stitch down. I'll just pin it. So I'll go ahead and stitch, and I'll be back. So I've gone ahead to sew it. You can see. You can also use your needle and thread, like I said earlier. It's not compulsory for you to use your sewing machine. You can use your needle and thread to sew it. So this is it. So you just slip the other one on it. That's a small one. Then you take the loop for the band. Then you just put it inside that opening. Remember the opening we left at the back. So you just insert it in, and so you take it to your sewing machine also. You sew it down. Let's say I sew it down like so. Then you turn it to the right side, and you bring it to cover the edge of the bow. So you put it on the bow, you can see, then you tack. So now while you're tacking the bow to this band. So you just tack from inside, that's from this, tack down, bring it out, come out again, you tack, and that's just it, just to keep this in place, to stop moving. Another thing you can also do is to put your candle gum and gum it down. You can also use your candle gum and gum it down. Yes, it's also okay. So this is what we have, and I'll just embellish this here and here, and I'll also embellish here and here with this. That's just it. I'm going to be cutting this. I'll just cut it. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to put this here, then I'll put here also, and that's it. So we have come to the end of this class, and I'll see you in my next video.